Sir, shall I take a message?
Hi, my name is Tony, and this is Every Frame of Painting.
Sydney. Later.
There's a quote that I love from Alexander McKendrick. He said, "What a film director really directs is the audience's attention." Directing is a matter of emphasis. You emphasize what is important
JJ, I need you in for 2 minutes.
Mac. Yes?
by underemphasizing what is less so.
I don't want this man at my table.
I've got a message from your sister.
These days, most directors create emphasis by cutting from close-up to close-up to close-up. But too much coverage is exhausting, especially for the actors.
I said, oh, so now you're going to be a mechanic. So you shoot master, close, closer, over. I go hardline and go, look, I'm not going to do that because you've already got everything you need to tell the audience what they need to know about what's happening here.
So today, let's consider a different option. Instead of standard coverage, let's put all the actors in the same frame and let them perform together. In other words, let's talk about ensemble staging. Ensemble staging is all about creating emphasis without using a cut. The first thing to remember is that we naturally look at whoever's speaking and whoever's being spoken to. This is often combined with the second technique. If someone is more important, put them closer to the light or closer to the lens. If you want someone to be less noticeable, move them further away, maybe out of focus. Of course, attention is relative. Sometimes you can get the audience to look at something even when it's out of focus, by having it move. We're especially aware when somebody moves their hands or moves their eyes. You can also guide the audience by putting something close to the center of the frame. In fact, this is one of the film's running jokes. Characters in the middle of the shot who keep attacking the suspects. Which brings us to number 5, the body position of the actors. How are the characters turned in relation to the lens? Do we see their whole face? Or 3/4? Is it a profile? Or another angle where we don't see the face at all? When you have multiple actors in a shot, it's important to have some variation. If the audience doesn't need to look at a character right now, turn him around. Notice how by doing this, you're creating contrast. The 3 cops on the right face each other, while Detective Seo looks elsewhere. In fact, for the first half hour, he's constantly placed away from the main group, looking at documents that everyone else is ignoring. This brings us to number 7. Subtly moving the camera. Here, watch how the shot narrows our focus from 4 characters down to 2. While here, our attention moves from one side of the argument to the other side, before settling on the eventual winner. And last of all, don't forget that human beings are social creatures. We look where other people are looking.
전부 여기서 사건 터진 날이랑 일치해요.
So with all that, let's consider why Bong Joon-ho would stage something as an ensemble. This is my favorite shot in the entire film. At first, we think it's one story, an argument between 2 cops. And Bong seems to do very little. He just lets our attention move from Detective Park to Detective Seo. But in the center frame, something catches our eye, and we realize another character, Detective Cho, is making out with a hostess in the back. So now we have 2 stories, foreground and background, and Bong plays them against each other to contrast the serious with the silly. As the scene builds, he slowly pushes the camera in, which hides the 2 women and focuses our attention on the main pair. And he lets the actors use their hands to tell the story, especially when the argument reaches its breaking point. But suddenly, the chief enters the scene. This is the moment when all the ensemble staging pays off. We have an unexpected third story, and it interrupts both of the others. With a joke. From now on, the rest of the scene is the third story, as the chief outlines his plan to catch the serial killer. But why do this in one shot? I think it underscores the theme.
서울에서 이 총구석까지.
The first story is a petty argument. The second story is just lust. None of these cops is doing work, they're all being selfish. It's not until the third story that they think about the victims and the case.
좀 정리가 딱 되네. 범인에 대해서.
The chief literally provides the moral center of the frame. And if Bong had shot the scene with coverage, we wouldn't see the connection between the first story and the second. And from both stories to the third. This is the kind of directing that's unbelievably rare today. And it shows the value of playing a scene as an ensemble rather than cutting from one face to another.
Because sometimes I just want to stay in that particular place with the actors and let the actors settle it and not let you help me tell the story by getting closer to my face. Just let me do it.
Okay?